Hey YouTube, this is Urban Acolyte TV and my name is Prince. I came across a video a few days ago posted by Viral Funnies called 10 Reasons Why Rey is Luke Skywalker's Daughter. I listened to all of the reasons given for why Rey could be Luke's daughter, and I found myself disagreeing with, well, all of them. So I decided to post this video as a rebuttal. Let's get something straight. I'm not saying Rey is Luke's daughter, and I'm not saying that she isn't. I'm just presenting the other side of the coin. So let's get into the list. Reason number one is that Rey was on Jakku with Lord Tekka. Okay, I mentioned this bit of information in another video, how it's interesting that Rey is on the same planet as the people in Tuano Village who belong to the Church of the Force. I thought that perhaps they were looking after Rey, or that Rey might have some kind of relation to them. But as it turns out, Jakku is a place with various types of hermits who follow a variety of different religions. Rey has some knowledge of most, if not all of them, and she says that some of the people in one of the sacred villages believe in the Force and tell stories of the old Jedi sorcerers. Rey said that she was in the care of a number of different people, and from the sounds of it, they were all scavengers. The pilgrims living in the sacred villages are all mostly self-sufficient, so no scavengers. It is convenient that the man with the key to the location of Luke Skywalker is on the same planet as Rey, but we just don't have enough information to tie the two of them together. We just have to say that it was the will of the Force as the reason that both Rey and Lord Tekka end up on Jakku. Reason number two is that Rey balances out Ben Solo. So at this point, Kylo Ren is made up of the light and the dark. He wishes to fully embrace the dark side and extinguish the light side. And I'm not sure how Rey would balance Ben when Ben's personal struggle is that he's balanced and he wants to become unbalanced. If we're talking about the light versus the dark, well, you have the Knights of Ren, who we know very little about, other than that Ben or Kylo Ren is their leader. We have Supreme Leader Snoke as the leader of the First Order, and the fact that the First Order was born from the dark side. So we have Rey up against Ben, the Knights of Ren, the First Order, and Snoke, and that doesn't exactly sound like balance to me. Reason number three is that Rey is Luke's daughter because this is a Skywalker story. And it's true, this part of the saga can be a Skywalker story, but Rey doesn't have to be a Skywalker herself. See, in the prequels, we see how Anakin falls to become Darth Vader. In the original trilogy, we see how Luke comes up to redeem his father. Now we have a Skywalker who is the key to bringing back the Jedi Order. And we have a Skywalker who could potentially rebirth the Sith. Because I don't believe Supreme Leader Snoke is that certain Darth Lord that some people claim can cheat death. I don't believe Snoke is even a Sith. I think that Ben and his obsession with his grandfather could have these ambitions of becoming powerful enough to take on Snoke himself and rebirth the Bane Rule of Two Order of Sith. Notice how he tells Rey that she needs training. Was he intending to train her himself, or was he planning to deliver her to Snoke? Reason number four that Rey is Luke's daughter is because of the voiceover in the teaser. You have that power too. See, the voiceover in the teaser can really apply to anyone. See, that was the magic of the Force in the original trilogy. People came away from the movies believing that anyone could become a Jedi with the right training. Recall what Obi-Wan said, the Force surrounds everything. All you needed was to be able to tap into the Force with the right training. And recall Finn's words to Han at Starkiller Base when Han realized that Finn had no plan and knew nothing about taking down those shields. I know, we'll use the Force. This new saga is attempting to rebirth that childlike naivety when it comes to the Force. Anyone can tap into the Force. When Han does those impossible, crazy maneuvers with the Millennium Falcon, he's tapping into the Force. When Poe Dameron is demonstrating that he is the best pilot in the Resistance and in the New Republic, he's tapping into the Force. When Finn scores in the top 1% of all First Order stormtroopers in training, he's tapping into the Force. It's not something based on a midichlorian count. It's about being in the moment. The Force is in everything. It's a field that surrounds all life. All you have to do is know how to let it in. Reason number 5 is that Kylo Ren recognizes Rey. The video posted at Viral Funnies says that Kylo Ren recognized Rey because they're cousins. And this is all based on the dialogue in the novel version of the lightsaber battle between Kylo Ren and Rey. When Rey pulls a lightsaber to her, Kylo Ren whispers, "It is you." During Rey's vision, we have some indication that she and Kylo Ren crossed paths previously. My buddy, the Stupendous Wave, has an excellent video on how he believes Kylo Ren is the person who hid Rey on Jakku. And I'm planning to do a video on this in the very near future with my own thoughts on that. But for now, I'll just say that I'm positive that Kylo Ren and Rey crossed paths already. And the thing is that remembering someone from years ago doesn't necessarily mean that you're related to them. If Rey witnessed the Knights of Ren slaughter a bunch of people and leave her behind because she was strong in the Force, well, Kylo Ren might remember that. Perhaps that's the call to the light he's been fighting. It's some kind of guilt trip. So that reason is off the table. Kylo Ren could be remembering Rey because he didn't follow an order and he's been keeping it hidden from Snoke and maybe from the other members of the Knights of Ren. Reason number 6 is that Leia embraces Rey rather than Chewbacca when they return. Here's something to consider. We have no idea when the last time Leia saw Luke. We also don't know when she brought Ben to train with Luke. So it's easily possible that Rey hadn't been born when Ben was brought to train with Luke. And if that's the case, it's possible that Han and Leia wouldn't have even known that Luke had a daughter because Rey and Ben are about 9 or 10 years apart. We can come up with a different number of reasons for why Leia hugs Rey and not Chewie without them being related. And here's one. Rey's a young girl and she's pretty cute. Hashtag Rey is bae. Who knows what the First Order did to her while she was being detained? I mean, just imagine if Star Wars was Game of Thrones, and you might get an idea for where I'm going. Sansa Stark and Ramsay, anyone? Reason number 7 is that R2-D2 wakes up when Rey returns. R2-D2 does come out of low power mode when Rey returns, but that doesn't really have anything to do with Rey. BB-8 was the cause of R2-D2 powering up, along with the mentions of the star maps being in the Imperial records. Reason number 8 is that Kylo Ren hands his lightsaber to his father Han, and Rey hands her lightsaber to her father Luke. This is really a stretch. I get the whole mirroring thing that we have going, but no, it's not gonna work. Ben places the lightsaber in Han's hands because I don't think he had the strength to kill his father when push came to shove. As a matter of fact, after Ben actually does the deed, he's weakened where he thought he would become stronger. And there's a completely different intent in those scenes. Rey hands the lightsaber to Luke because, well, Luke lost it on Bespin. Maz pretty much tells Rey to take the lightsaber, stop waiting for her family to find her on Jakku, and go find Luke. Reason number 9 is that Rey meets Luke instead of R2-D2. I don't think it would make any sense for R2-D2 to meet Luke at the end of the movie. I mean, it's Rey's mission to find Luke Skywalker and to return the lightsaber to him. Rey is the one who is destined to become Luke's student. The question being asked in The Force Awakens is, where is Luke Skywalker? The person tasked with ultimately locating Luke is Rey, not R2. And reason number 10, Luke indicates a deep connection to Rey. Well, I think this is really a stretch. Some people say that Luke's eyes are welling up with tears. Well, I saw the movie in 3D and in IMAX 3D, and I didn't see that. If anything, Luke's expression said, well, crap, playtime's over. I guess I have to go back to being a Jedi Master again. Shoot. If we're going with Rey was one of Luke's students who survived the collapse of his previous academy, Luke could be looking at someone who would have been a youngling the last time he saw her, 15 years ago. I think Luke can be sentimental over a student he hasn't seen in over a decade without them being his child. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in episode 8, but I think it's important that people not get too caught up in what happened in the EU. I mean, it's possible that Luke became a Jedi like the previous Jedi. Maybe he never marries and there's no Mara Jade this time around. Maybe Luke turned all of his attention to resurrecting the Jedi Order and he didn't have the energy or the time to build a family. I know so many people seem to want the stuff from the Thrawn trilogy and the other EU works to happen, but let's think about it. If all the stuff from the Legends canon happens in the new saga, what's the point of seeing the movies? So I'd like to hear from you all. And remember, this video is not all about, oh, Rey is not Luke Skywalker's daughter. This is just a video refuting those particular reasons for why Rey might be a Skywalker. But seriously, I'd like to hear from you all. Do you think Rey is a Skywalker? Specifically, do you think that Rey is Luke's daughter? I'd like to hear your reasons for Rey being Luke's daughter, and I totally won't ridicule you. I'm way too laid back for that, even if some of you feel that I'm too serious. Remember, I'm a fan and I'm doing this because I like talking about Star Wars. So leave me your comments below. Rey, Luke's daughter, yay or nay, and let me know why you think the way you do. Anyway, I'm going to be working on another video where I give some other speculations on Rey not being a Skywalker, a Kenobi, or related to anyone else. And I'm hoping to have that video up later today or early tomorrow. So make sure to check back really soon. And if this is your first time seeing Urban Acolyte TV, go ahead and subscribe so you can be informed when I get that next video posted. And if you're already subscribed, make sure to share this video with that friend of yours who is a diehard Rey is a Skywalker kind of person. And if you haven't already, make sure to check up in the cards for this video I did on Han Solo in episode 8. You can also check out this other video about the possibility of Grand Admiral Thrawn appearing on Star Wars Rebels and possibly in Rogue One. Well, that's all I got for now. And remember that I love telling you all about Star Wars so that it might change your life the same way it's changed mine. So y'all keep on breathing and may the Force be with you. Bye.